Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, this year I will be starting with my degree and I'm so excited because not only will I be doing what I've always wanted to do, but I only have 6 modules this year. And the reason being because I've done some of the modules in my certificate, I don't have to redo it now for this year and I'm just so excited. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. Um, I've already started with my assignments. I've already received my study material. But what upset me about the fact that I received my study material is that there are certain tutorial letters that are missing from my study material. Now, this is something that I didn't expect because I just thought that there are people that are responsible and that make sure that every single person gets everything they need in order to complete their studies. But unfortunately, for me, I didn't get some of my tutorial letters, and I'm actually quite grateful that I checked with the stuff that is online with my package that I've received and make sure that everything that I've received corresponds with what is online. And when I saw that, I was actually quite like, wow, what? They didn't put everything in that I need. It was really a shock to me because the tutorial letter that was missing is actually the tutorial letter that had my assignments in it. So that was actually a little bit of a shock, but now I know that every year when I receive my study material that I will then I'll just check to see if it's the same as that of what is online. So I'm really excited about it. I'm quite a little bit concerned because some of the assignments are really like back to back. So I've already started with one of my assignments and I've already submitted it. I'm the kind of person that submits assignments like 3 weeks before time because I just don't like to do it even a day before it has to go in, because like there are millions of students studying through UNISA, and you cannot come now and submit something a day before. It's even worse on the day because now everybody's trying to log in to send their stuff, and with that it means that the system is a little bit slow because it's receiving so much stuff all at once. So I prefer to do my stuff in advance and send them in advance and make sure that I do everything properly and everything is done properly and all the questions have been answered properly and so forth. So I'm actually now busy with my second assignment, and it's involves me using a financial calculator. Now with this financial calculator, I still have to figure it out how to use it, and that's really stressing me out because I'm used to using a Casio calculator. I'm not used to the sharp calculators. I really didn't like these sharp calculators because at school they used to give it to us and I just never liked them at all. Now there weren't financial calculators, but I know that there were sharp calculators and they were specifically for maths literacy. However, because the kids that were doing maths used to receive the Casio calculators, and we that did math literacy received these sharp calculators that I just don't like. I don't like that calculator. I don't even understand what the hell is going on with that calculator. And now I have to use it because they want us to use it. It's a financial calculator. It's sharp, I think 73AFB. And I have to use this calculator and I have to get used to it. But when we need to use the financial keys, I become so confused because I'm used to Casio. You just punch in everything and the answer comes. But one thing that I saw with my Casio and with my sharp calculator is that the answers are the same. The only thing with the sharp calculator is that there are financial keys there that are specifically used for calculating financial stuff. But with my calculator, it still gives me the same answer that my sharp calculator gave me. So I'm a little bit like conflicted. Do I practice with my sharp or do I continue with my Casio? Because my Casio, I understand it. It's like it's a simple calculator. Come on, it's a Casio, it's a calculator. And then now with this one, ew, it's a whole new level. You need to, with Casio, you can just press the arrow that goes up and it will kind of like show you the history. Now with the sharp calculator, you need to punch in certain things to go back to your history, while as with Casio you can just press the arrow that goes up and it will show you your history and the things that you've calculated. So that is kind of frustrating. But one thing I know, that if I'm gonna write, I'm gonna take both. And I most probably will be using my Casio calculator, because I don't have time to be all up in here memorizing everything and getting confused and getting everything wrong because I don't understand how to use that calculator. I'm not about to fail just because of a calculator. So yeah, that is like the worst thing that can happen to a person, to fail, to know you know your work but you fail because you don't know how to use the calculator. I don't think I will be able to handle it. So when I am gonna write, I'm gonna use my Casio. That's a fact. And if maybe the people that are, evaluating or whatever you call them, then I don't know. But I hope that they don't have a problem with me using my Casio. Please don't have a problem with me using my Casio, because that sharp calculator is gonna make me fail. I won't be done in time. Yo, my question paper will go in half questions answered and half questions not answered. I don't think I can be able to do that. Yo, my God, I hope that they allow us to use our Casio. So it's January now, and everybody is registering their kids, and some kids unfortunately cannot go into schools, which is also kind of like heartbreaking, because for me, I just feel that as a parent, you need to put your kids first. And I understand that there are parents that did go on time and did register on time, and they were unfortunately put on a waiting list. But I just feel that it's not always the case. There are some parents that are just irresponsible, that do things last minute and expect people to feel sorry for them. Oh, it's my child, it's their first day, they have to get a good education, and I want my kids to have, but your ass been waiting there. Why did you not register your kids on time? Because there are parents that don't register their kids on time, and they hide behind those that were unfortunately placed on the waiting list. And it's so frustrating to see a person using such an unfortunate thing to cover their tracks because they were irresponsible. There are some parents that register January, whilst in not in November. Yeah, in November I think most schools open up in November for registration. Some of them don't, because they're high about December that is coming, and now they're not registering the kids because they're all excited about December and the December lifestyle, and now they don't think about their kids and registering their kids and making sure that the child is in a school for next year, and then next year, and then January comes, they now all of a sudden, oh, my child, and they don't even have registration fees because they ate everything in December because of it's a December lifestyle. Now the kids have to suffer. I mean, really, guys, let's put your child before everything. Even if you didn't plan for the child, put your child before everything. Let us become responsible. If you know that at certain schools, that school, grade 1 class, they get full easily, wake up and go and find other schools. Sometimes you just have to take out a little bit more money to ensure that your kids get into the schools. I understand that there are parents that cannot always afford transportation, so they go to the school that is closest to them. But sometimes you just have to take out that few hundred rands and just make sure that your kid gets into a school. And don't just register your child for one school, especially if you are on the waiting list. Do not do that. Do not register your child and sit when you know you're on a waiting list. Go and find out somewhere else. Go and find the second nearest school. If Go and register. If they put you on waiting list, there it's fine. At least when you know you have at least two schools where you're on the waiting list. When the one says no, hopefully the other one will say yes. Do not wait. I feel so heartbroken when you see these little kids not being able to enter school because their parents didn't take the necessary steps to ensure that they are in school. Take the necessary steps and make sure that your child is registered. Do not rest until your child is not just registered but has space in that school. Make sure that happens for your child. Make sure that happens for your child. And I was so shocked on the news about this other gentleman that didn't register his children, so that his kids doesn't have birth certificates. I don't understand that. How do you I think some people need to go to jail. Some parents need to go to prison because the choices that they make have a huge and a negative impact on their kids' life. I feel that we need to start putting people in jail for being negligent and for neglecting their kids and taking decisions that put their kids in a disadvantage. I just feel that law needs to start waking up because it's asleep. There are too many parents taking and making decisions that negatively impact the kids' lives. I mean, how can you not register your kids and make sure that they have a birth certificate so that they can be able to benefit from the structures that the government has set up for us as children to benefit from? That in itself, it's saying that man took away his kids' rights, all of it. He took all of it away from not doing a simple thing as registering your kid. That is why I say take decisions that that will make sure that your kids will have a brighter future. You cannot be out here taking decisions that make your children sit at a disadvantaged positions. I mean, some of us are already born in a disadvantaged, situation, and then you have parents taking even, they're even draining my spirit. It's sad and it's frustrating because those kids could have been, or that child could have been so far in their career and already building themselves up. I just, some of you guys make me so, I don't know, you make me angry. It's really frustrating. That's why I don't even watch the news anymore, because it's frustrating to see things that can be prevented not be prevented. It is frustrating. I don't know. And then at my workplace, we had this conversation about racism, about how people, always use racism as an scapegoat, which somehow I feel is not always true. Sometimes you just need to think about where people come from and how they struggled. And it's not really always about that. They don't know how to voice their frustration. And, when they just feel that I've been held back before. Now that I have freedom and there's democracy, now I have to be held back again. They are frustrated and they are angry. And you know what? White South African, black, Indian, colored South Africans do not want to kill you. We do not want to kill you. I mean, this other woman said to me, "Oh yeah, on the news they used to say that they are gonna kill us, they're gonna rape our kids in front of us, they're gonna kill our husbands in front of us, they're gonna burn us alive." And I'm just like, but that happened in the 60s. And the person that even probably said that was even most probably, in my opinion, was saying that because maybe there was a gun held to his head that we didn't most probably not even see it. Maybe he was paid to say what he said. And you are out here holding on to that to say, but they said on the news that they will. No, man. Everything that, in my opinion, not in my opinion, for me, I feel that it's a fact. Everything that people saw on the news and on television and in the media was just orchestrated to make you guys think a certain way. It was just another tool to brainwash you. It was another tool to brainwash people into believing certain things about certain race groups. And now people are still holding on to that because it was on the news. If it's on the news, it's the omega. It is pure. It is true. It is not true. Most of the stuff that was shown back then was just to brainwash people to believe in a certain way about somebody else, to keep us apart. That was all it was, to keep people apart. And this is what I'm also quite wondering about, is that every single thing about the apartheid area has been discussed except the media. Why hasn't the media been discussed? Because I remember when Winnie passed away, that was the only time I heard of that guy that was working for the newspapers, that everything that they were saying was a lie. That was the only time I heard people talking about the news in the apartheid area, and then it stopped. Why is it that every single thing that happened back then, almost all of the events were covered except what was told in the media and how the media was used? I just feel that why hasn't that structure been knocked down? And is that structure still being used to divide people? Because if you can think 25 years, there are still people that still believe in the stuff that they were told back then. That's a problem. Because they are passing that information onto the kids, onto the grandkids, because it was the news. Because news is pure. It was shown on the news. It has to be true. I'm shocked that nothing was said about the media and how they used it to brainwash people. Nothing. There's no documentary about it. Everybody's just quiet about it. So it makes me wonder, is the news still being used to brainwash people into dividing our country? That is something that, that I think about ever since that lady said what she said. Because it's not true. It was just the media at the time was used to brainwash people into believing something or to feel a certain way about a different race group other than their own. And it's so sad to see that there are still people trapped in that. That is why they say the mind is the most, imprisoned thing. I don't even know how to describe it. I think it's written in a book, but I can't remember which book because I read it somewhere. I have to go find that quote about how the oppressor didn't just lock people up or kill people, but it imprisoned the minds of those that it oppressed. And till this day, I can still kind of see that people's minds are still on lockdown. They are still brainwashed. They are still believing what was said to them back then, even though they know it's not true, but it's still there. They still keep it at the back of their heads. We really need to start decoding ourselves. We really need to start looking at ourselves and what we've been told and what is true and what was false and what is still now being portrayed as true. because there are still people that are still using those dirty tricks that they used in apartheid area to make sure that people do not come together. Because you know what, there are so many people that would be irrelevant if everybody comes together, because they know that if everybody comes together, they will be caught, they will be sent to prison, because they've been stealing from everyone. That is why they say, let us keep them apart, because if they come together, then they'll know that we're still playing them. That is why you see on the news, you see people are stealing from the country. People are saying non-truth stuff about each other, because we're not together. We have to come together so that we can be able to see who is truly here to help us build, and who is truly here to keep us apart so that they can steal, manipulate, and prosper. It's really disgusting. It really is. It's disgusting, and it's concerning to know that so many years of democracy, and still there are people that think the same way they did back then, only because the structure of the media has not been broken down. That structure is still there. It's still making a shadow. It still shows the shadow of apartheid, that structure of media that people do not want to break down. Really, really, if we're gonna fix this, if we want to come together and fix this, then we really need to let go of this. We have to let go of everything. We have to break down every single thing and rebuild together. That's the only way we're gonna have this beautiful rainbow nation that everybody is always talking about. That is the only way we will be able to live a life of peace and happiness. That's just it for me. But you know what? We'll get there. Might not be now, but we will get there. I believe, because I am a born free, and I can see what has been done in the past, and I can see the scars that it has left behind, what it can do to people. And I am going to make sure that I, for one, learn from the past mistakes. And sometimes when you have to pick up the pieces and rebuild, then that's what I have to. Give me a shovel, let's rebuild this. But I feel that in rebuilding, me educating myself is rebuilding, because I remember Steve Harvey said that the best thing you can do for poor people is not to be one of them. And that is my goal. I do not believe that I can help poor people if I am poor myself. So that is why it's important for each and every person to build themselves up. Build yourselves up and educate yourself, and do not let go of education. It doesn't matter what happens, do not let go of your education. It's the only thing that will ever take you out of poverty, and then will keep you out of poverty. That is something that I strongly believe, and that is why I've always just pushed and pushed to be able to get to a point where today I'm able to start with my degree, and I'm able to be excited about it, and I'm able to be grateful about the fact that I have this opportunity to do it. So let's educate ourselves, because that's the only way that we can build this country of ours. Literally, this is the only way. Thank you guys, for listening to me and for coming back to my channel. See you in the next one. Bye.